Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Did you know that the origin of the Coca-Cola company dates back to the 19th century? The single largest multinational corporation, which takes great pride in manufacturing the world-famous beverage Coca-Cola, has quite an interesting backstory that will surely make you think long and hard about the power of innovation. Without further ado, let's dive deep into the story of Coca-Cola, inspired by Think and Grow Rich, and take a look at how a $2,300 investment grew to $250 billion. With more than 2,800 products available in more than 200 countries, Coca-Cola is the largest beverage manufacturer and distributor in the world, and one of the largest companies in the United States. According to Interbrand's Best Global Brand Study of 2020, Coca-Cola was ranked the world's sixth most valuable brand, with an annual revenue surpassing $57 million in the US alone. In 2021, Coca-Cola's net operating revenues worldwide amounted to around $38.7 billion. Headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, the company has over 80,000 employees and is involved in the manufacture and marketing of not just sparkling soft drinks, but also enhanced water and sports drinks, tea and coffee, energy drinks, juice, dairy, and plant-based beverages. Over the past few years alone, the Coca-Cola Company has been ranked on multiple Forbes lists, such as 2020's World's Most Valuable Brands, 2018's World's Most Innovative Companies, and 2019's Top Regarded Companies. Before we get to Coca-Cola's invention and how it became the world's most popular drink, as well as an American cultural icon, let's talk a bit about Think and Grow Rich, a classic self-help book that highlights several stories and examples that ultimately center around one question: what makes a winner? Originally written by Napoleon Hill in 1937, the book has been called the granddaddy of all motivational literature, and rightfully so, since it acts as a summarized version of Napoleon's Laws of Success philosophy. Think and Grow Rich isn't just about the psychology behind building wealth or applying effective business strategies, but also about exploring the secrets lying within the anecdotes of millionaires and billionaires from the past. In this landmark bestseller, Napoleon powerfully communicates his philosophy of money and illustrates his principles by narrating the stories of the most renowned millionaires and winners of his generation, such as Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, and Henry Ford. But the main story we'll be focusing on today is the story of Coca-Cola, or as Napoleon called it, the story of the enchanted kettle. Coca-Cola's history began in 1886, when Atlanta pharmacist Dr. John Pemberton, who also served as a colonel in the American Civil War, created a unique-tasting soft drink in the attempt to find a substitute for morphine. Since he was addicted to the problematic drug, Pemberton's quest led him to creating a flavored syrup, or a tonic as it was called, which was first created at his Pemberton Chemical Company in Columbus, Georgia. His bookkeeper, Frank Robinson, is credited with naming the beverage Coca-Cola, as well as designing the iconic script that is still used as the company's trademark. The name Coca-Cola refers to the two key ingredients in Pemberton's original formula: cocaine from the cocoa leaf and caffeine from cola nuts. Since the Atlanta physician came up with Coca-Cola as a morphine alternative and tonic for common ailments, cocaine was a key component in the first ever version, although it was later removed from Coca-Cola's formula in 1903. Shortly after getting the formula tested by other pharmacies, Dr. Pemberton started selling Coca-Cola to local soda foundations before adopting successful marketing strategies such as newspaper advertising and offering coupons that promoted free samples of the popular drink. Prior to his death in 1888, just 2 years after inventing what was to become the world's top-selling sparkling beverage, Dr. Pemberton sold the Coca-Cola business to another Atlanta pharmacist and businessman, Asa G. Candler, for a total cash outlay of $2,300. Under Candler's leadership, the Coca-Cola Company expanded beyond Atlanta, establishing syrup manufacturing plants in Dallas, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, before the beverage started selling in every U.S. state as well as Canada. In just a year, sales increased from an estimated 9,000 gallons of syrup to 370,000 gallons in 1900. Within a few decades, Coca-Cola introduced its lemon-lime drink, Sprite, before purchasing the rights to Fanta, and by 1960, the contoured design of the Coca-Cola bottle had officially been registered. In the early 1900s, the company started selling Coca-Cola in countries like India and East Germany, before launching a plethora of different drinks such as Inca Cola in Peru, Barq's Root Beer in the US, Thumbs Up and Limca in the Southeast Asian countries, and gradually the sale of these products expanded to over 120 countries. The story of Coca-Cola's invention and how the company grew to make billions of dollars has been summarized in Think and Grow Rich in quite an interesting manner. According to Napoleon Hill, a young clerk bought a copper kettle, a paddle, and a secret formula from an old doctor for $500, which constituted his entire life savings. So Candler didn't invent the magic formula that's been preserved for centuries. Instead, he became the marketing genius who turned an idea into a successful and timeless example. The old kettle and the wooden paddle and the secret message on the slip of paper were identical. It was Candler's imagination that eventually made the kettle overflow with gold. Napoleon Hill ended the story in the following words: "Whoever you are, wherever you may live, just remember, in the future, every time you see the words Coca-Cola, that its vast empire of wealth and influence grew out of a single idea, and that the mysterious ingredient the drug clerk Asa Candler mixed with the secret formula was imagination." That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. We'll see you soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.